Welcome to Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. This episode is part of our Indies Introduced series, where we spotlight debut authors handpicked by booksellers from around the country. In each episode, a bookseller from the Indies Introduced panel will interview the author of a debut title featured in our program.
Hi, everyone. I am Claire Bone. I am the owner of Wild Sisters Book Company in Sacramento, California, and I am here with author Tolani Akinolai, who wrote the book Leave Your Mess at Home, which is a wonderful, I want to say family saga, but it really spans a shorter amount of time. Family drama, family slice of life, if you will, as someone from a big family. This book, if you have a lot of siblings and each one of you has a very different role within your family, you're going to love this book. Tolani Akinolai is a Reese's Book Club Lit Up Fellow. She holds a BA from the University of Chicago and an MPH from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. She now lives outside of Atlanta and is here with us today. Hi, Tolani.
Hi, Claire. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really deeply honored that you all chose my book as an Indies Introduced pick, and I'm excited for our conversation today.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a really fun book. It was one that we really sat with for a while, so I'm really glad that it ended up as one of our picks. So, tell us more about it. What inspired you to write Leave Your Mess at Home?
Great question. You would think very easy question to answer, but I always struggle with this question, and I think it's because when I sat down to write this novel, it ended up like going in a completely different direction than what I had intended. So I'd originally wanted to write a story, like an unrequited love story. And then as I was writing like first few scenes, I was like, oh, these people actually kind of both love each other. So one, that's not working. But also, I really feel the need to explore how like this character has come to love in this way or to deny herself love in this way. And then her siblings kind of hijacked my brain. That's what I've been
As
calling
siblings
it.
do.
Yeah, they just all had very strong voices and personalities. And I feel like in like trying to understand the ways in which this character had, learned to love, I needed to understand the family that she'd come from. So I think that's why they all emerged and like forced their way onto the page. But that's why I always struggle with this question because I'm like, oh, I don't, I kind of know what inspired it. Like also I'm a second generation Nigerian myself, and I feel like I'd always wanted to like read a book that like centered my experience.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find one, so I wrote it for
You're like, I
myself.
gotta do this. I gotta do
Yeah.
this. I love that it centers your experience while still like with the family dynamic. I mean, as a Catholic girl from Missouri and California, like it still really rang true to how families kind of just work together or don't work together,
Mhm.
as the case may be. But I mean, in this one too, each sibling's journey is like so wildly different, but totally interconnected, like families. How did you so seamlessly like weave those stories together?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, well, first of all, I'd say that I love the feedback that like you could relate, even though you come from like a very different background. And I love the
Yeah,
like magic that fiction does in that way and how
totally.
there's this like universality in the specific that I think is just really beautiful. And so I'm always happy with people who are especially aren't Nigerian are like, oh, I totally saw myself in this book. Or
We
like,
have a golden child in our
yeah,
family. It's
exactly.
it was a joke. Like I won't out that family member, but like they can do no wrong.
Sorry. I shouldn't say LOL.
No, it was, I mean, hey, it's part of the family, right? Like,
Right.
yeah. So how did these
Yeah.
stories just like kind of just so easily connect?
Yes, I would definitely say that was iterative and definitely just a testament to the gift that revision is. When I
Mm-hmm.
first started writing the novel, I think that they very much came across as I said, like strong personalities, strong voices, but people who all happen to be in the same family, but maybe, like they're the like beef and the separate, the factions and the
Yes.
resentments that like you now see on the page are maybe like a little bit more understated. And so the work was kind of to like bring that onto the page more visibly. And it's interesting because like they all are like living very separate, distinct lives. And I think that was kind of the fun of it, of like how did they like emerge into this set of circumstances and yet like all have this shared background and like what is this shared background informing in the way that they like relate to one another and also the people in their lives that they're trying to love.
Yeah. My sister and I talk all the time. It's like, how did we all come from the same family, right? Like, and have such like wildly different experiences. And I really think your book really speaks into that so well. How you could have the same parents and grow up in the same house. And I don't know, that saying of like every kid is parent has a different parent. And
Yes.
like you really show that really, really well. And like each sibling has a different relationship. Like none of them are the same. So it was really, I don't know, got me in my feels a lot of times.
I
Um,
also got myself in my
I
feels, so
bet, right? Yeah. Are you a part of a large family yourself?
so no, it's very interesting. I'm not. Yeah.
Really?
Really, really. So I grew up in like single parent home. It's just me and my mom and my sister.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that like that's the really fun part again of writing fiction is like, taking the random raw material of your life, but like turning it into something completely different,
Yeah.
even if it does feel closely related. But yeah, people are always
I love
surprised when
that.
I
You
say
nailed it.
thank you so much.
You did such a great, like, I thought you were gonna say, oh yeah, each one of these is like one of my sibling. Like, I fully thought that there was a Longa family somewhere. That,
No. Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. But okay, so you weren't in a large family. So how did those family dynamics influence what you wrote? Or, I mean, I guess not influence. I don't know. Like, how does that come to play?
I think it's like I would say like maybe in the abstract, like the issues that the family's dealing with, I think like in terms of, estrangement and resentment and the pressure to succeed and also like, you know, certain people being overlooked within a family dynamic and like, parents who are present but also kind of absent. Like I think that, that's what I would say is like kind of the raw material that I
Yeah.
then transfigured, if you will.
Those are very universal
Yes,
experiences. And I think
exactly.
even if I've seen it, even in some of my friends and family members who are only children, because the cousins kind of step in as in the
Mm.
sibling relationship, right? And like the aunties and uncles become parents. So it's like you still like the family dynamics are the family dynamics. Like
Yes.
human nature is human nature. We're all gonna get there one way or the other. So I kind of love that. I kind of love that you have a totally different background than the family you wrote about.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so do I. I think
Yeah.
it created a lot of space for play, even as I was trying to like deal with, very like real life, realistic material.
Yeah. I like that. Space for play. Did your family have like opinions of how you wrote the dynamics?
My sister said that I put my readers in a washing machine, and I just like I just love that feedback so much.
That's
Uh,
so great.
yeah, but
Shook
then
them
like
around.
right, exactly. I think that no, my family's been very supportive. And I think also because again, my family dynamic structure was very different from the dynamic in this novel. Like no one's like, "Oh, so that's how you really feel about me."
Right,
Um,
right. That's kind of nice.
right, exactly.
My sister always like she's got some really great book ideas, but it would like we need people to die before she can write it because nobody wants to look at mom and be like, yeah, that way, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
have them be like, is this me? Yes, it's you. Or no, no, not
I
at all.
know. I know.
What
I
did your
know.
mom think?
I don't know if she actually finished it.
Really?
But she did. She also though told me that it was unput downable, and so
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
totally.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so. I haven't asked her though if she finished it because before she read it, I was actually terrified of what she would think.
Yeah.
Especially because the mother character in the novel is such a, let's just say, challenging personality.
Right.
And so
Right.
I did not want her to be like, oh, so this is how you think I behave.
Right.
No. Yeah,
Right.
but it was like interesting to take, I think, certain things to what I think is like an extreme in this character.
Mm-hmm.
Um of Latifa Omolabake Lunge, who is just like, yeah, so I don't want to say she's a trope because, but I feel like, there is the trope of the like stern immigrant mother who
Mm-hmm.
wants her children to succeed at all costs, and she very much is that. So,
Yeah. But I think that's
yeah.
actually a really great thing you said about like feeling like it's a trope. Like it tropes become tropes because of how often they're in real life and in,
Mhm.
right? Like so while it feels, I don't know, redundant or tropey to say that, like that's still a lot of people's lived experience. And so it's super, I don't know, gratifying, cathartic to see people walk through these challenging relationships, even if it's a trope. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
thank
it's
you
like a
for
cliche
saying
is a
that.
cliche because it's true.
Right, it's been true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It's a fun just look at how families work through stuff either with each other or in spite of each other. Is there like a particular like scene or interaction that you really liked writing?
Um, there a scene that I really loved writing. Um, I think a scene that was challenging. Oh, I don't want to drop a spoiler, by the way, but
Spoiler, if you need to mute, go for it.
okay, is that okay? Is that how we do it? Yeah, I think the scene when the Longe siblings are all picking out a casket was um really like challenging to write, but it felt good challenging because it was a situation that I was like, again, trying to, as I think as fiction writers, we're like pulling from like real emotional
Yep.
stuff,
Yep.
and that was like the emotional quote unquote stuff that I didn't know that I actually had, or it was something that I kind of like was afraid to do and then
Hmm.
did it. And, well, yes, this can actually be a thing. And I think it was like, I think it might be the second scene in the novel where all the siblings are together, but this time they're together without their parents.
Hmm.
So just like the subtlety of, not to toot my own word, but I think like the subtlety of like bringing all of that, like everything that's been bubbling up under the surface, um in that like throughout the novel, in that scene, it was really fun to do. And also, so like it's such a challenging time for them as well. um so anyway, I loved writing that scene even though it was terrifying and challenging.
I mean, a lot about writing a book is terrifying and challenging. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad you did it. Thank you. Um, I mean, okay, I know you're not supposed to like pick a favorite child, but do you have a favorite sibling? Was there
It's
one
like
that was more fun to write than others?
I think it was very like wrapped up in Angela and her like the arc with Neil and this like will they won't they situation. So I wouldn't say she's my favorite, but I think that she was like my first entry into this family and the character I first started writing. So in that way, like, I actually like thought that she was the most accessible to me. But then as I was revising, I was like, oh, there's actually a lot about her motivations, as it relates to like loving someone, but also not really allowing herself, giving herself the permission to like, love that I thought, was something that was obvious that it actually wasn't that obvious, and so it required like both us. What's the word? Like I had to take stock of myself in order to like be able to take stock of her, if that makes sense. And like,
Totally.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's a good
Um,
one. That's a good one. I love it. So, all right, last question. Do you think there's more for this family?
more, yes, I think that they live, in my mind, they continue to live, beyond the pages of this novel. Is there more like for me
Yeah,
and them together? I don't know, but I don't know.
maybe.
I don't know if yeah, I'm interested in like continuing to usher on their story. At least
Yeah.
maybe not in this format. There's so many other things that I want to write. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that yeah, I just love that like the novel ends in a place where like we know that, more continues to happen for them
Yeah,
beyond the
for sure.
pages.
Like in families, right? Life
Right.
goes on. Life goes on. I would not be a podcaster worth it my beans if I didn't ask you if you have anything else you're working on that you want to like
Um,
tease.
So yes and no, which is such a weird answer. I'm working on things that I don't want to tease, but I will say that I'm just trying to return to writing as a form of play right now.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, I know I keep talking about play in this interview, but
Yeah.
it's really
No, that's
important.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need more play, more fun, more joy. And guys, you're gonna get it and leave your mess at home. Thank you so much, Talani. We can't wait.
It-
And I can't wait to hear the audio on top of that. Read
Thank
it. I'm ready
you.
to listen to it too.
I'm listening to it right now. It's amazing. Yeah. But thank you so much for interviewing me, Claire. It's really been such a pleasure chatting with you. And again, thank you to all the booksellers who chose my book for Indies Introduced. I just am so excited and yeah, I felt really supported throughout this process.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we can't wait. And we can't wait till see what other things you play with in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app. Additional educational resources can always be found on the ABA site at www.bookweb.org. Happy reading!